My pregnant wife and I got in a fight with a guy on the beach.
I'm Alex from La Cañada, Flintridge, California. Let's talk about that.
Good mythical morning.
Today's episode is brought to you by Aura Brush. 90% of all bad breath comes from a dirty tongue.
I used one this morning. Look at that tongue. It's so clean.
Please do not speak in that fashion again. Pick them up at aurabrush.com or Walmart or CVS.
I hope your morning is mythical. Even if it's not morning, when you watch this, it is a mythical morning. Thank you for being here. We are forever in your debt for being such a loyal viewer.
Really? Forever in their debt?
We're in your debt for like a little bit.
Yeah, don't make it so serious.
We're thinking about being in your debt for some amount of time.
Interesting thing happened here in the Los Angeles area recently that reminded us of a wonderful little moment from Link's life.
But the news caused an uproar. It caused a real stink.
Well, we saw it last week. We haven't been to the beach a whole lot, and we haven't been to the beach together yet. So there has been no opportunity for us to go out to the beach and throw the old frisbee. A frisbee is what I say when I'm throwing it on the beach. It's really just a frisbee.
I wouldn't know because we haven't done that recently.
Or a flying disc. Or a football, throwing the football.
Yeah.
Word got out. In fact, CBS, the local affiliate here in Los Angeles, reported a couple weeks ago that frisbees and footballs, the tossing of such things, had been banned on LA County beaches. And of course, everybody's like, what? They said it was a $1,000 fine.
Because what's a beach without throwing a frisbee or a football?
And so the county officer, wherever they make these rules, was overwhelmed with calls. I mean, people were just calling left and right saying, what are you talking about? I can't throw a frisbee. I can't throw a football. And then it turns out they're like, what are you talking about? We just passed an ordinance that makes it easier to throw frisbees and footballs. And so KCAL News got it wrong. It turns out there is still a $1,000 fine for something in this new ordinance. However, it is either being naked on the beach or shooting a gun.
Uh-oh.
You know, I guess if you do both of them, naked man on beach with gun, you get like a double fine. Or else maybe you win some kind of an award.
They cancel each other out. What we're saying is, if you're going to the beach and you want to be nude, you better be throwing a frisbee or a football. They cancel each other out.
Okay.
CBS News, the local affiliate, is reporting that. And they have a great reputation of getting things correct.
They have since recanted on the story and clarified that it is okay in the designated areas, which is, I guess, most places, to still toss the old frisbee.
But it did remind, it reminded me of an experience, which you were there.
Yes, I was.
I was there. My wife was there. Christy, your wife, Jessie, was also there.
Yes.
I think it was over like a spring break weekend, even though we were no longer in college because we were both married. We went to the beach just to hang out for, I don't know, we were on the beach. I remember that part. And Christy was at least 7 months pregnant.
She was showing.
Very much showing, pregnant with our first child, Lily. And I remember being out on the beach. Oh, what a great day. You know, there's no nude football throwers or anything like that.
People with guns or anything like that.
Nobody firing guns. But there were a bunch of people on the beach. I do remember that. But you know, we go down to the shore. And we're frolicking as people who have a baby on the way would do. You know, at the edge of the water. And
like rubbing salt water on her belly or what? I mean, what do you mean? Like,
no, just I mean, like doing skipping and saying, "Oh, the water's cold, is it?"
Oh, our lives will be so much different.
When we have a baby.
There's a baby in here, and then he's going to be on the outside, and then he'll be in the water. Of course, it was a girl.
It was a girl.
Yeah.
But everything except that still applies.
Yeah.
But I remember after a certain amount of time, you know, when you're that pregnant, you get tired pretty quickly. Yeah. Chrissy was like, "Well, I'm just going to go back to the hotel room. You guys can stay out here." And she starts walking back, and then we're like, wait, no, we'll just go back too.
Yeah, let's all go.
But she had already taken off, headed back to the hotel. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Actually, I had dawn. I'm trying to remember it. She was about 50 yards ahead of us walking, and we were kind of catching up. And there was all type of activity happening on the beach. There was footballs being thrown, frisbees being thrown. And I just remember, as she's ahead of us, her in her pocketbook and her pregnant self waddling back up the beach. A football is sailing, and there's a guy playing wide receiver, I guess. And this guy's leaving the field of play. He's all alone, running. He's gonna receive the ball, and he's going right for Christy.
You saw this unfolding. I saw this unfolding.
And then he didn't nail Christy like bam, but it was more of a glance in such a way that I saw her pocketbook go this way, I saw the football go the opposite direction, and then I saw the two of them become entangled, kind of glance at each other, and then she spins.
I wouldn't call it a glance. He didn't make a loud banging noise, but he ran into her and stumbled, and they both fell. They kind of
in a ball. They kind of rolled into the sand.
Yeah.
And so you were actually a little bit ahead of me, but immediately I took off.
I remember it.
50-yard dash.
I remember seeing you come out of the corner of my eye because I started thinking, okay, she's pregnant. What do I do? And before I had a chance to react or say anything, it's like, Link, you made a beeline. You come into my peripheral vision, and it's like you go right up to the guy.
I ran right up to the guy. He was standing up at that point, and Christy was kind of standing up, and I get right in the guy's face, and he was at least
he was
like that much
bigger and wider than you.
He was as tall as you, but he was like a football player.
Well, a beach football player.
And I go, "What are you thinking?" And I like bowed up my chest right in like his belly button area, and I'm looking up at his face. "What are you thinking?"
I remember this.
And I didn't have a shirt on, and I'm a
little guy.
I'm kind of skinny. And I remember at that moment, as I'm looking up at him, I'm just like, what am I doing?
What am I thinking?
What am I thinking? And he was apologetic, and he was like, I'm so sorry. You know, my pregnant woman on the ground. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't see her at all. I was trying to receive the pass. Blah 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 blah.
And your wife is upset at this point too. That's the thing you don't remember is that she spoke to him before you did because I saw this before you got there.
Yeah.
She fell down and Chrissy stands up and she's like, "What are you doing?" Gaw! She like the main gaw, like I don't know what gaw. And then the guy began apologizing. He's like, "I'm sorry, ma'am." Like he's calling her ma'am because she's pregnant, you know. He's like, "Ma'am," and then all of a sudden, husband Link comes out of nowhere and "What are you thinking?" And there was definitely a stutter. There was like a, "What are you thinking?" I totally remember there being this.
I didn't think ahead of time at all of what I was doing or what I was going to say. All I knew was that my pregnant wife was in a wrestling match with a football player on the beach. Give me a freaking break.
You were trying to do the right thing. I mean, you thought your wife's safety was in question. I totally get but it was very amusing.
In my mind, as I was running that 50-yard sprint, it was like music was playing. I am the man who will fight in slow motion for your honor. I'll be the hero you've been dreaming of.
And you were kind of
I get up there, it's like
too.
Record scratch. What are you thinking?
Well, you hadn't been married very long, and it's your first baby, and so if that happened today, like you would be like, "Walk it off, Christy." It's like you've been married for a while, you've got multiple children. It's just like
it was an underdeveloped paternal instinct misapplied on a beach,
right? And so the thing is that I've always wondered about this story because it was very amusing to me because it's not how I would have reacted in the situation at all. I'm usually going to be like, I wouldn't tell her to walk it off, but I would have tried to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. But
you probably would have, if I had to do it today, I would have ran up to Christy and be like, "Are you okay? It was obviously an accident. Hey man, listen, just be more careful." But
she was to his credit, she was walking. They were playing a football game. You remember it as him out of bounds? No. There were people to the right and to the left. She walked down the 50-yard line, so to speak. She walked right in the middle of the field.
But to be fair, there are no lines on the beach.
It is beach.
There are no yard lines.
She didn't know she was in the field of play. But what I've always wondered is, what if this guy was just a jerk? And what if what happened is you escalated and then he decided to defuse? My question is, what if this guy had it escalated back at you? Like, if you were like, what are you thinking? He was like, what are you thinking?
All he would have to have done was take his fist and hit me on top of the head, and I probably would have gone down into the sand like a nail.
Like whack-a-mole?
Yeah, like whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole, yes.
Whack-a-mole. Well, honestly, I think what would have happened if he would have retaliated, I think that Christy would be with him today. And I couldn't blame her.
Your child would be being raised by some college football,
burly beach football player. So I guess what I'm saying is Christy was fine. The baby was fine. Everyone was happy. We have a funny story to tell. Even the football player and I call him a football player. We're pen pals. You know, we exchange handwritten letters affectionately sent in the snail mail. But
last part's not true.
I guess I'm coming down on the unpopular side of the ordinance, though. That no, there should not be footballs or frisbees thrown on public beaches where pregnant women are allowed. You can have one or the other, people.
I think pregnant women should wear bells on beaches, so when they walk, they make a little jingle noise, and you know when they're coming. You know, like...
Or just football pads.
Bells.
Let's
spin the wheel.
You know, we share these things so that you can not only talk about them, but learn from them. How are we going to end this episode?
I'm about to find out. As soon as the wheel stops spinning and lands on... Link slaps Rhett silly. Okay, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity. I will be that guy. You can take what you wanted to do to that doofus who ran into your pregnant wife, and you could do it to me.
Okay.
Okay, now hold on.
The wheel is spoken. I'm not going to argue with it.
So what I want you to do is I want you to go off camera. I want you to run up to me. And we'll stay seated because I don't want to get out of frame here. I'm going to stay seated. And I want you to say, what are you thinking? And I'm going to retaliate. But now don't punch me. Just slap me, okay?
Okay, I'm just going to slap you.
Which side of the face are you going to slap? I like to be prepared.
Your left side.
This side? That's my right side.
Your left side.
You're going to slap... Okay. Don't hit me in the eye now.
I'm not.
What are you thinking? I'm trying to hurt your pregnant wife!
Well, she's pregnant! See you tomorrow. Boy, that was thrilling.